You are at the dinner table, or in a crowded room, or lying next to someone you love, and it is there anyway, the loneliness. Not the loneliness of being isolated, not the loneliness of having no one, the loneliness of being present, fully present, and somehow still invisible. You are contributing to the conversation. You are laughing at the right moments. You are doing everything that looks like connection from the outside. And underneath all of it, there is this quiet, hollow feeling that no one in the room actually knows you. Not the real version of you. The version that exists below the performance of being fine. And you do not know how to close that gap. So you go home, or you stay in the room and feel it there too. And slowly, quietly, you start to wonder if this is just what life feels like for you, if this distance is not a circumstance, if it is just who you are. People have advice for this. Get out more, make new friends, put your phone down and be present, join things, show up. The advice all assumes the same thing, that the problem is a quantity problem, that you do not have enough people, that more social exposure would fix what you are feeling. But you have been in a room full of people. You have been in a relationship. You have had the friends, the gatherings, the full calendar, and the feeling was still there. So the advice did not help, and the failure of the advice started to feel like its own indictment. Like maybe the problem is not the circumstances, maybe the problem is you. Society has a name for what you're feeling. They call it loneliness and hand you the same solution every time. More people. But here's the truth. The diagnosis is wrong. You are not antisocial. You are not incapable of connection. And you are not someone who is simply doomed to feel this way. You are hungry, not for more people, for something more specific, for the feeling of being truly known. Think of it this way. Hunger is not a reflection of your worth. It is not a punishment. It is a signal from your body that a real, specific need is unmet. You can sit in a room full of food and still feel hungry if none of what is available is what your body actually needs. Your loneliness works exactly the same way. You can sit in a room full of people and still feel it if none of what is happening in that room is the kind of connection your nervous system is actually searching for. This is not about how many people you have. It is about whether you feel truly known by even one of them. And those are not the same thing, not even close. You aren't socially starving. You are relationally malnourished. And today we are going to look at the psychology behind why, what your nervous system is actually looking for, and how to find and create more of it. To understand what you are actually experiencing, we need to start with a distinction that psychologist Robert Weiss identified in his foundational research on loneliness. Weiss found that loneliness is not one experience. It is two separate ones. He called them social loneliness and emotional loneliness. Social loneliness is the experience most people think of when they hear the word lonely. It is the absence of people. Not enough contact, not enough community, not enough social presence in your life. If you have just moved to a new city and do not know anyone yet, that is social loneliness. And the solution to social loneliness is relatively clear. More people, more contact, more showing up. Emotional loneliness is something fundamentally different. It is the absence of felt closeness, of being truly seen, known, and understood by at least one other person. You can have a full and active social life, a packed calendar, a group chat that never goes quiet, and still experience severe emotional loneliness. Because emotional loneliness is not solved by more people. It is solved by a different quality of connection. What Weiss's research explains is why the standard advice does nothing for you. For many people, the deeper issue is emotional loneliness rather than simply a lack of social contact. And that is a different problem requiring a different solution. It is also worth saying that these two forms of loneliness can exist together. You can be lacking in both contact and closeness at once. But for most people watching this, the hollow feeling persists even when the contact is plentiful, which means the missing ingredient is not quantity. It is a specific quality of connection that researchers call attunement. This connects to a deeper layer that developmental psychologists and attachment researchers call attunement. Attunement is the experience of having another person accurately perceive your inner state and respond to it in a way that feels genuinely matching. Not just hearing your words, hearing what is underneath your words, not just being physically present, being interested in your actual interior experience. The work of researchers including Daniel Stern and Daniel Siegel on interpersonal neurobiology suggests that attunement is not a social luxury. It is a developmental need. From the earliest stages of life, the nervous system develops through experiences of feeling felt, of having another person accurately read your internal state and reflect it back. This is sometimes described as the experience that someone genuinely understands what is happening inside you, not just what you are saying out loud. A version of this plays out across your whole life, not only in infancy. Think about the difference between someone asking how your day was and only half listening to the answer versus someone who notices the specific weight in your voice and asks what is actually going on. The first is presence without attunement. The second is what your nervous system is actually searching for. When attuned experiences are present, the nervous system develops a felt sense of being known. When they are absent or rare, the nervous system registers the deficit, not as a preference, as a hunger. The hollow feeling you carry into rooms full of people is not neediness or weakness. It may be your nervous system signaling a need for deeper emotional connection. But your brain goes even further than that. Research from social neuroscientists like Matthew Lieberman suggests the brain continuously monitors social environments for cues of inclusion, connection, and belonging. Your brain is scanning for specific signals that you are truly included, not just physically present. The signals it is looking for are subtle. Is someone genuinely curious about my experience? Does this person see me or a version of me they find comfortable? Am I being engaged with or merely tolerated? When those signals are absent, even in a warm, friendly, crowded room, your brain may register a mismatch between social presence and genuine connection, and the loneliness appears. Not because you are alone, because the specific signal your nervous system is looking for is not present. This is why you can feel most alone at a party surrounded by people who like you. The room is full of presence and short on attunement, and the gap between those two things is exactly where the hollow feeling lives. Here is what matters most. The loneliness is not a sign that you are failing at relationships. It may be a signal that an important relational need is not being met. That is not a personality flaw. That is information. Understanding the distinction changes everything about how you approach connection. These 3 tools help you find and create the kind of connection your nervous system is actually looking for. The first tool is called the depth shift. Most social environments are built for breadth, not depth. Light topics, easy exchanges, surface-level sharing that keeps things comfortable for everyone. These interactions are not bad, but they do not produce attunement. And for you, they do not produce felt connection. The depth shift is a deliberate reallocation of your social energy. Fewer interactions, deeper investment. Instead of attending every gathering and staying at the surface, choose fewer settings and go further in them. Fewer people in a given week. More time and genuine attention with each one. This is not a justification for withdrawing from people altogether. The depth shift still requires you to show up and engage. It simply means you are choosing where to invest your limited capacity for depth, rather than spreading it thin across every interaction available to you. One conversation in which you are truly seen carries more connection for your nervous system than 10 pleasant ones in which you are not. That is not antisocial. That is efficient. The second tool is called the ladder. Genuine depth does not appear all at once. It is built through a process psychologists call reciprocal self-disclosure, small, vulnerable moments that invite matched vulnerability in return. Research by psychologist Arthur Aaron, including his widely studied 36 questions experiment, found that closeness can be deliberately cultivated through progressively deeper and more personal conversation. The ladder works like this. In any conversation, identify where the depth currently sits, then share something one rung above it, not a leap into complete vulnerability. One rung. Here is what that actually sounds like. If someone asks how your week was, the safe answer is fine, busy. The one rung up answer is something like, honestly, it was a lot. I felt like I was just trying to keep my head above water the whole time. That is not oversharing. That is one honest rung higher than the script most people default to. And notice what the other person does with it. Do they match it? Do they go slightly deeper in return? If yes, you have found someone who is capable of the kind of connection you are looking for. If not, you have learned something important without overexposing yourself. The ladder protects you while it tests the water. The third tool is called the Attunement Signal. Sometimes the loneliness comes not from a lack of willing people, but from a failure to communicate what you are actually looking for. Most social exchanges open with questions that invite performance. How are you? What have you been up to? These questions are fine, but they signal that a surface answer is acceptable. The attunement signal is a simple, deliberate shift in how you open a conversation. Instead of the performance invitation, try something like, I want to tell you something real. Or, can I actually tell you how things have been? If that feels too direct, a softer entry works just as well. Try, can I ask you something that has been on my mind lately? Or simply, I have been thinking about something and I genuinely want your take. These signals tell the other person that surface is not what you are here for. They give willing people a clear opening, and they show you, quickly and without much risk, who in your life is capable of showing up for that kind of conversation. So here is what is actually true. You are not broken, you are not incapable of connection, and you are not too much for the people around you. You aren't failing at being social. Your system is simply holding out for genuine closeness, and that requires a completely different solution than the one you have been given. You are not looking for more people. You are looking for depth, for attunement, for the felt experience of being truly known. That is not a defect. That is the most human hunger there is. Shift toward depth. Use the latter. Send the attunement signal. And the next time the loneliness shows up in a room full of people, take a breath and remember this. It is not telling you that you are failing at life. It is telling you that you have not yet found or created the specific kind of connection your nervous system is searching for. You are not too much for the right people. You have just been trying to fit into spaces that were never built for the depth of you. If this video resonated, the one before this goes even deeper into why intimacy itself can feel threatening. Why you sometimes pull back right when connection is finally forming. Why the good thing starts to crack right when it finally feels real. Click this video right here, because understanding why you destroy good things before they can hurt you is the other half of everything we just talked about. I will see you over there.